Another day, another court case for Donald Trump. And this time, the former US president is charged with falsifying business records to cover up a hush money payment to a porn star, as you do. Trump arrived at the courthouse in a motorcade a couple of hours ago. You can see on your screen there. It meant Trump didn't come into contact with a small but very loud group of protesters who gathered outside that courthouse. Trump told reporters that the case against him was a sign of how far the USA has fallen since the last presidential election.
Everything that I've heard and read, even from legal scholars, said there's absolutely no case here. It's not a crime. This is not a crime. And when you look at what's going on outside on the streets, where violent crime is at an all-time high, I think it's it's a great double standard. The other thing, this case could have been brought 3 years ago. There is no case. They decided not to bring it. The district attorney, Bragg, didn't want to bring it. He said he doesn't want to bring this case. But it's not a crime. We're here for something that is not a crime. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. What it is election interference. It's being run by Joe Biden's White House. His top person was placed here in order to make sure everything goes right. This is a terrible time for our country. This is a real dark period.
Well, that's Donald Trump there, sitting on the fence as ever. And joining me now is the chairman of the Republicans Overseas UK, Greg Swenson. Greg, thanks for coming to the studio. Always a pleasure. So, there is no case. This is ridiculous. That's what Trump says. What's the reality? 2 court cases in one day. A lot of people saying today could influence political future in America.
I mean, it very well could have some influence. I don't think it will move the needle that much. Remember, once these indictments started, Trump's numbers went straight up. I was behind Ron DeSantis, as you know, and once back in March of 23, you know, he was basically tied with Trump. DeSantis and Trump were tied. Once the indictment started, Trump numbers went straight up. They all came from DeSantis. It was a 15-point move up for Trump. That's 30 points total. Same as the Mar-a-Lago raid in the summer of 22. 30-point move in 1 week from before and after the raid. So this stuff is actually helping him with the Republicans. The question is, will it hurt him in the general election? There are a small, 10% or less of small amount of Republicans that have said they won't vote for Trump if he's convicted of one of these indictments. With 91 indictments, this is possible. I mean, that one. Now, this case in particular, I think President Trump in his comments is absolutely right. His comments might be a little clumsy sometimes, but he's right on the merits that this case should not have even been, it really shouldn't be in the court. It's a misdemeanor at best. And Alvin Bragg has elevated it to a felony, which is pretty outrageous, considering he's lowering felony convictions or indictments, violent felons to misdemeanors in New York at the same time. The place is a mess. I was just there this week.
And all of this would sink a lesser man, but it seems to sort of boost and boost and boost Donald Trump. And another extraordinary comment, Greg, overnight from Vladimir Putin, saying he would prefer Joe Biden to be the president. Is that because Biden is inactive and toothless against him and he fears Trump?
It doesn't surprise me. And the critics have been saying, well, Trump is sympathetic to Putin. It would be bad for America. And yes, Trump does have a tendency to cozy up with our adversaries, right? But he's actually been much more deliberate against Putin than Biden has been. And so if I were Putin, I would want Biden to be president as well. His support of Ukraine has been incrementalist at best, starting with basic needs in the beginning of the war and then finally agreeing to tanks and then F-16s later. It's been really incremental in nature. And Trump, back when he took office in 2017, immediately sent Javelin missiles to Ukraine, whereas Obama and Biden were sending only non-lethal equipment, sending it to an air base in Poland, a U.S. air base in Poland, and then trucking it in commercial trucks to Kyiv. They were really afraid of annoying or in pushing Putin in any way. And Trump actually did the opposite.
And very quickly, if we could, Greg, do you think Trump's got a good chance of becoming the next president of the USA?
Yes, he does. As long as Biden is his opponent, he will win. Barring some dramatic surprise.
Superb stuff. Greg Swenson, thank you for coming in. Always a pleasure.